All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us as we head into the noon hour Central Time. It'll be 1 Eastern. Let's take a look and see what the markets look like as we shape up for lunchtime. Let's take a look at corn and bring that board up. It's getting gaining a few pennies back here, right? We've got a still lower board, 3.5 cents lower in SEP, 484 3/4 is last, about 3 cents off the lows. Maybe now closer to 4 cents off the lows, but we still only have about an 8-cent range, right? So we're kind of in the middle of the day's range right now. Dees, the new crop, 2 3/4 cents lower. 497 3/4 is last. 502 3/4 was a high. So we've had about an 8-9 cent range over there as well. So we're in the middle of that one as well. So corn kind of coming back here to the middle of the day's range, but still about 3 cents across the board lower on the day. Soybeans, they've got a little bit of pep in their step though here now. SEP's up 19 3/4 cents. 13.96 1/4, and if I had a bell, I'd ring it. That's a new high, right? We've had about a 21-cent range over there as well. No, of the new crop up 15.5 cents to 13.36 3/4, and that too is a penny off of the new highs. That's soybeans in Chicago. Let's take a look at wheat in Chicago. That's now down still 6.5 cents in SEP, 633.5 is last, 7 cents from the lows, and we're about 15 cents from the highs. So that'll give you an idea where we sit in SEP wheat in Chicago. Dees, similar, 5.5 cents lower, 661 3/4 is last there. How about hard red in Kansas City? 16 cents lower, 771 is last. So that's we're about 8 cents from the lows, well off the highs by about 20 some odd cents, 23 cents. So that'll give you an idea where we sit. Dees is down 15 cents to 786 even. That's in the hard red in Kansas City. If we move over to the spring wheat in Minneapolis, that too is lower by 9 cents in SEP, 840 even is last, 5 cents from the lows, and 18 cents from the highs, just to build that mental picture. Dees is down by 8 1/4 cents to 854. There you go. All right, and then finally, cotton. That's, we turned around a little bit here, 22 points higher now. Not really doing much. Just playing around with that equatorial line of unchanged. 84.81 is last there, now 84.84, up 25 points. Let's get to our next guest analyst. It's going to be Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading down in St. Louis today. As you can see, Busch Stadium right behind him. Tommy, here you go. Boy, lots to talk about after the downgrade yesterday. Things kind of the water got a little muddier. How was that sound? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was nice to see some volatility in the stock market. I don't mind that at all. I cannot feel bad for anyone who owns stocks that they're all performing well. While you were talking, I was looking at the TV CNBC's on, and they said like Shake Shack's up 70% on the year. I mean, this is amazing. America's just an amazing place. And of course, we have one of those iconic stadiums behind us. Of course, you won't see Tommy G drinking any Busch Light down here, or Bud Light, but more of a White Claw guy myself. As far as grains, we need to keep that corn moving so we can make the good old bourbons and everything else. But the grain markets, I got my laptop over the left. Soybeans are on the high, and that's nice to see. I will tell you this, my clients, a lot of clients in North Dakota and other parts of Iowa receive some beneficial rains. Not everybody. There's always hey, I didn't receive a rain, and North Dakota's dry, but rains in August are keys to the soybean market. We had some good demand from China today. We'll see if we can keep it going. I will say this before we go on break, Scott. I couldn't sleep at night selling Board of Trade wheat at these levels. I mean, if you were short a bunch of Board of Trade wheat at this level, you have to know when you wake up, we could be 40, 50 cents, maybe limit higher. That doesn't mean we're going higher, just means my risk profile, if I was going to have a short and it would just be through a put right now. I would just have that floor set. So we continue to have explosive rallies, and those are just massive selling opportunities, but it's scary as heck. Back to you, my friend.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think that maybe for a rally in the wheat, you need some people to get short. Maybe that's the reason why it's kind of laying there. If you have some folks kind of step out and get short that market, then a lot of times that can lead to some burnt fingers there. So great comments as always. Great backdrop too. Stay right there though. You're right. We need to go away. We need to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Tommy Grisafi. He's down in St. Louis. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about the livestock. That's the other side of the ledger, and that's always interesting. And actually today it is too. Let's take a look at the cattle. We'll start with live cattle in Chicago. We'll bring that board up. Quietly better is the best way you could describe that. 37 cents higher in October. 180 spot 87 is last. And that's in the middle of the day's range, right? We've only had about a $1.30 range in there, so that'll give you an idea about what's been happening there. Dees is up 55 cents. In the old days, Tommy and I would call that double nickels. 185 spot 15 is the price in Dees. Moving on from the live cattle, we'll go to the feeders. They're steady a little bit better as well. The gains are really in the deferreds, but we'll start with SEP. That's up 85 cents to 250 spot 95. And again, that's close to the middle of the day's range. You go out to the November, that's up a buck, 253.57, and that's about what, 12 cents from the high. So that's not bad either. So that's your feeder board, steady a little bit better. Lean hogs, this is the one that's been kind of sucking wind, as they say, but it's coming back a little bit. October's down $2.75 to 82.12, and we've got a Feb board that's down $2.10 to 78.52. Let's bring in Tommy Grisafi back from his little sojourn out to St. Louis. Tommy, anything jump out at you there? I mean, looks like we rolled over a little bit on the hogs, but they've held in.
Yeah, I've tried selling hogs for my own account. I've tried owning puts, and they haven't paid me yet. We'll see. I could see us trading down to that 95 level, and it usually happens really quick. You know, we could trade 100 for a few days, and one day just be at 96, go back down to 94. The markets are very thin. It's August. There's been a lot of disruptions in the markets as far as volatility. Yeah, obviously, that stock market move yesterday, when I looked at my iPhone, every single market I look at was red except for two things. The dollar was green, and of course, any puts were green. But the whole world was red yesterday, and I think cattle and hogs took a little risk off with that day. And it's healthy to have that. Doesn't surprise me. You know, Europe's on vacation, Canada, the whole rest of the world, they're just kind of chilling out in August, and it's not the best time to have real big positions on. Liquidity is not. I kind of missed the pits. I got to tell you, Scotty, I chose to leave the pits to trade electronically, but boy, we could use the liquidity of the pits, and we just don't have that right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right. I mean, a lot of folks don't know. They probably do, but August is a slow time. It's the last time you get to take a vacation with the family before school gets going, and it's just after all the summer activities have ended. So a lot of folks take it off around the world, and you're right. Europe is notorious. A lot of folks, I lived there for 16 years. They would be out of the office for at least 2, maybe 3 weeks in August. So you can imagine what that looks like. So we've got a lot of understaffed desks around. This is not the time to push the boat out and try to make your year, because it'll be very difficult to kind of corral it all back in if you are not right. And, and with what happened yesterday with Fitch, the market got a little bit spicy yesterday, and I think there's some nerves out there, and maybe more nerves than normal. It's not as complacent as it was. So I appreciate you coming on all the way from Bud Light Stadium. Thank you very much, Tommy Grisafi down there in St. Louis with Advance.
Good stuff as always, and a great backdrop.